Shalom and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Today we came to visit the tomb of Benjamin, the son of Jacob and Rachel, and find out if this tomb is real or fake. We will find out why Benjamin's bones were taken from his original tomb and brought to distant lands. And we will also see how genetics and modern research help us understand Benjamin's genetics and how it may have influenced Israel's victories in major battles and wars. So, if you're ready, let's get started. We are in the center of Israel, next to Highway 55, as you can see, very close to the city of Kfar Saba. And we came here to visit the tomb of Benjamin. But who was he? Benjamin was the youngest son of Jacob, and he was the founder of one of the 12 tribes of Israel, the tribe of Benjamin. And he is considered one of the patriarchs of the Bible. So come with me and let's find out more about him and about his tomb. Let's go. Maybe some of you are already wondering how it is possible that Benjamin's tomb is in Israel, in what at that time was known as Canaan. After all, we know the biblical story. Benjamin goes down to Egypt with his brothers when there was a great drought and famine here in the land. And he goes to Egypt, and he and his whole family are received by Joseph, his brother, who had then been chosen as governor in Egypt. And Benjamin goes on to live his whole life there. In fact, the Bible tells us about his descendants in Egypt, and later his descendants became slaves in Egypt. And although the Bible doesn't tell us how, when, or where Benjamin died, everything, absolutely everything indicates that he passed away in the land of Egypt. So if everything indicates that Benjamin died in the land of Egypt, does that mean his tomb here in Israel is fake? Not so fast. We don't have any biblical, historical, or archaeological record of anyone from Jacob's family or his descendants being buried in the land of Egypt. On the contrary, all the records we have say that the remains of the patriarchs were transported from the land of Egypt back to Canaan. They insisted on being buried here in the promised land, like in the case of Jacob, who asked before his death that his body be taken to the land of Canaan to be buried in the cave of Machpelah, together with the other patriarchs and matriarchs. And for his body to be transported on this long journey, it was embalmed by the Egyptians. Yes, there is a good chance that our patriarch Jacob was mummified. And not only him, the Bible also tells us that Joseph's body was embalmed, that is, mummified, and taken by the people of Israel during the Exodus. And in the book of Acts, Stephen says that Jacob and our fathers were brought to be buried in the land of Canaan. He implies that it is much more than just Jacob and Joseph. And through everything we've talked about, we understand that there is a strong possibility that Benjamin was actually brought to be buried in the land of Canaan. And here, right next to us, we can already see Benjamin's tomb. But now let's go inside and see if this really is Benjamin's tomb. Let's go. This place is divided between men and women, and this is the men's section. And here in front of us, we see the marking of the tomb. And we can see that we are here alone, precisely because of the time we arrived. But soon, people from all over Israel will start arriving to visit this place. And it is precisely in this way that the memory of the place is preserved, because it is a tradition that is passed down from father to son, from pilgrim to pilgrim. And it's such a strong tradition that even the Arabs who live nearby recognize this place as the tomb of Benjamin. And now we are going to walk around the tomb and enter from the other side, mainly where women go to pray. Let's go.
Imagine learning a new language just by binge watching your favorite series. As someone working with tourists every day in Israel, learning Hebrew was important to me. But the apps I tried felt boring or ineffective. It felt like I was learning textbook Hebrew, not the Hebrew real Israelis actually speak. Then I discovered Lingopie, the Netflix of language learning. After work, I usually watch TV, so being able to learn a new language while doing something I already enjoy feels incredibly easy and natural. So now I just watch Israeli TV series and learn at the same time. I can tap on any word I don't know and instantly get a translation with context. Plus, it's got tools built in like flashcards, so you can practice later to better learn the words, not just by reading them the first time, but also by taking notes and even fun quizzes. With Lingopie's double subtitle feature, I've started to pick up more words like manishma. Now I can put sentences together, tell a joke in Hebrew, and make Israelis look at me in surprise and ask, "Wait, are you Israeli?" Lingopie offers 13 plus languages like Spanish, French, Italian, Chinese, and more. If you also want to learn a language in a way that feels real and not boring, try Lingopie today. And since you are coming through my channel, you can get 73% off yearly plan and 7 days free trial. Just scan the QR code or click the link below to start learning today. And let me know in the comments how it's going for you. Israel teaches me every day that history lives through language, and now I can finally speak it.
And I want to show you something. Look at what's here. I think I've never shown this on the channel before. So let's open this, you could say, compartment. And what we see inside are candles. We commonly see these next to the tombs of biblical figures, of important historical people here in Israel. We see people lighting candles. And this comes from the idea of a biblical verse from the book of Proverbs, which says that a person's soul is like a flame. So since the flame also rises up to the heavens, this reminds us of the path that souls take after our body is gone. And it's also a way to honor the person, to keep their memory alive. So we see this at the graves of important people, and sometimes people also place lit candles next to their loved ones who have passed away. But I want to take this opportunity, since we are talking about all this, to highlight something very, very important. Maybe the most important thing we can say here is, we do not pray to the dead. No one comes to this place to pray to Benjamin. What we do here is pray to God and remember the biblical story. Remember our patriarchs. In this case, let's make it very clear. These candles are not for Benjamin, but because this is an important historical place. Let's wrap up. And the idea is exactly to help keep the candles from going out. That's why it is closed. But this is not the oldest Jewish tradition. If we go back to biblical times, actually the tradition that people usually followed for tombs was to place a stone on top. You can still see this today in Jewish cemeteries all over the world. We see tombs with stones on top, and the idea has both a symbolic aspect and a practical one. The symbolic aspect is the stone is something that doesn't have material value, and that's why we can't tell who is rich and who is poor. In the cemetery, everyone is equal. All the tombstones are usually the same size too. There are no rich or poor in the world to come. And there's also the method of marking the visits, of showing affection. When we visit a loved one, we leave a stone to mark, "Look, I was here," honoring this person's memory. And the last reason is an extremely practical and important one. In biblical times, the person was usually buried and a stone was placed on top. But as the years, centuries, and millennia went by, often the rain would come, the wind would blow, and the tombs would start to fall apart. So people would go to the tomb and place stones on top. It was a way to physically reinforce it, to ensure that the person's memory would remain alive, also through the person's tomb, so that it wouldn't simply disappear over the centuries. And we can see that it worked in many places. Here in Israel, we have tombs from the biblical period preserved to this day. And speaking of biblical tombs, now, yes, let's go see the other side of Benjamin's tomb. This place is really interesting. We can see here once again Benjamin's tomb. But the other half, the men's side that we saw before, is behind this curtain. But what I want to show you is down here. If we lift up these modern coverings, we can see something built in stone. But even though it looks like a coffin, it isn't. Tradition says that Benjamin is underneath this structure, in this area. That means that if we really are in the right place, Benjamin isn't at the level where we are, but rather several meters below. And now I want to talk about the structure. This structure, as we see today, is 700 years old. It was built during the Mamluk period. And of course, some things were added later. This covering, of course, is from a later period, but the construction, as we see it, is 700 years old. But around here, small archaeological excavations have been done. And yes, there is older archaeology. Remains from the Roman and Byzantine periods have been found, meaning archaeology up to 2000 years old. But there's something else I need to tell you. This is not the only tomb of Benjamin that we have here in Israel. Yes, there is another place known as the Tomb of Benjamin, which is in Jerusalem, next to Strauss Street. And there's one more place, a village in Galilee called Rameh, which, although there isn't a tomb there or any specific marked place, we have writings from the Middle Ages that indicates there was a tradition that Benjamin was buried there. So we're talking about at least 3 traditions. This one, without a doubt, is the most widely accepted among them, but it's not the only one. And which of these 3 do I think is the true one? I'll tell you in just a moment, but before that, I want to talk to you about Benjamin's descendants. Or, as we say in Hebrew, Binyamin. Binyamin literally means the son of the right hand. And it's a slightly ironic name because the tribe of the sons of the right hand was actually the tribe of left-handers. The Bible mentions left-handed only 3 times, and all 3 times they belong to the tribe of Benjamin. The first example is Ehud, one of the judges, and he was from the tribe of Benjamin. And with his sword in his left hand, he manages to free Israel from the yoke of the Moabites. And Judges chapter 20 tells us about 700 slingers, all left-handed and all from the tribe of Benjamin. And not only were they left-handed, but they also had impressive accuracy. With the sling, they could hit a stone balanced on a strand of hair. And in Chronicles, it is reported that David had the support of 23 ambidextrous warriors who were soldiers that knew how to fight with both the right and the left hand. And this was a huge advantage because they could attack from different angles and keep fighting even if one of their arms was injured. And of course, all these ambidextrous soldiers were from the tribe of Benjamin. Notice that all the left-handed people mentioned in the Bible are from the tribe of Benjamin. And we're not talking about 2 or 3, we're talking about hundreds. And now the question that comes up is why? Was there something genetic in them? Something perhaps that literally came from their ancestor Benjamin? Or was this something taught to them? Or maybe a little bit of both? Let's see what scientists and research have to tell us. If Benjamin, the son of the right hand, influenced his left-handed descendants. Modern research says that handedness, meaning being right-handed or left-handed, has a clear genetic component, but is also influenced by environmental factors such as education, for example. A study showed that when both parents are left-handed, 26% of their children are left-handed. And if just one of the parents is left-handed, there's a 20% chance that the child will be left-handed too. Compared to couples where neither of them is, right-handed couples, there's less than a 10% chance that the child will be left-handed. And there's also something incredible that was discovered, namely genes, literally genetic markers that influence a child to be left-handed. And also very modern research says that you can already see inside the mother's womb a tendency for the fetus to use one side more than the other. And this probably is reflected in adulthood, whether the baby will grow up to be right-handed or left-handed. And specifically in the case of the tribe of Benjamin, they were left-handed either because it was taught or because of genetics, maybe from the lineage of Benjamin. If we think about the ancient world, being left-handed in a battle was a big advantage. Battles at that time were set up to favor right-handed people, so left-handed people had a clear advantage. So we can think that maybe the children of the tribe of Benjamin were taught to be left-handed or ambidextrous to help in battles. But shall we read the text again? The text says that a good number of these soldiers from the tribe of Benjamin who were left-handed were slingers or archers. That means they fought from long range. And if you use a sling like David did against Goliath, honestly, it doesn't matter if that sling or that bow and arrow was used by a right-handed or a left-handed person. And that's a likely indication that the left-handed people from the tribe of Benjamin, at least for the most part, yes, were left-handed for genetic reasons. But it really is ironic that the tribe of the sons of the right hand, the tribe of Benjamin, is actually known for having a large number of left-handed people. But maybe that's something genetic that they inherited from their patriarch Benjamin? And now we need to answer the most important question of the day. Is this really Benjamin's tomb, or is it one of the others? And the personal answer I can give you, my opinion, is I have my doubts. Among the theories we have, the most likely one, in my opinion, is really this one. But I'm still not convinced that this is definitely the place. Yes, we do have archaeology here, but it's archaeology from 2000 years ago. And Benjamin lived a little over 3000 years ago. So we need older archaeology. And the only way to prove that is by doing archaeological excavations, which I can assure you will not be done at this location. There is a policy from the Israeli government, from the Ministry of Antiquities, not to excavate in tomb sites, especially tombs considered sacred, like this one. So there is no expectation that archaeological excavations will be carried out at this site. And without excavations or older historical evidence, this place here is still a big question mark. But what I can tell you is that the most important thing about Benjamin is not his tomb. It's his legacy. And Benjamin's legacy is still very much alive here in Israel to this day. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. And I'll see you next week.